At 5:30, some Maryland homeowners are facing lengthy legal battles against squatters who take over their homes and refuse to move out.
And tonight, WJZ investigates.
Mike Helgren shows you one man's nightmare and how lawmakers in Annapolis are pushing to crack down the squatting scam called Cash for Keys.
David Brand's slice of the American dream is nestled in the woods near Owings Mills. The suburban home he and his wife bought and fixed up, hoping to sell and add to their retirement nest egg, until the squatters moved in.
Were you shocked by that?
I was stunned. I was floored. I watched my life investment just literally flashing before my eyes. These people were basically just stealing possession of our house, of our retirement, our life savings.
It started with a call from his roofer the day before a scheduled home inspection.
Hey, I'm here at the property and there's a moving van and there's two people in the house.
What went through your head?
First thing I thought is, well, that's impossible.
So he rushed there from Harford County.
The first thing I noticed also was my key box, the lock box that held the key, was gone. And it was a young couple approached at the door and asked me what I was doing there. And I said, well, this is my house. Why, what are you doing here? And he immediately looked at me and said, well, I've rented this house. He said, I have a key to the house, I have a lease agreement, and I have possession.
So he used the term possession.
Yes.
And do you think that was intentional?
That was really unusual.
The fake lease, 8 pages, looked like the real thing.
It was the best lease I've ever seen. It had my name, my wife's name, our home address, all the terms, the conditions, the monthly rental, the term of the lease. At the back of the lease, it had their photo IDs, stapled to the back of it with everyone's signature, my signatures, all the signatures. And of course, the signatures didn't look anything like mine.
All that information is publicly available.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can Google someone's name and find out their addresses, all that information online. And a police officer can't look at a lease and make a determination whether it's legitimate or not. So he doesn't have the authority to make that decision.
Police came but told David there was nothing they could do.
The ultimate answer was it's a civil matter because he's provided a lease document and he has a key to the property. And he had some furniture in there, which does give him possession of the house. The only option that I would have would be to go to the court and file for an eviction. I was furious. It was terrifying.
Does the law need to be changed in Maryland to deal with this?
Maryland doesn't even have a law to deal with this.
Unfortunately, squatting has become a growing epidemic.
That's where Ryan Naraki comes in. The Baltimore County delegate introduced House Bill 202, which makes it a felony with penalties, including time behind bars, and gives the local sheriff the immediate ability to throw the squatter out.
Why is current Maryland law inadequate?
The first problem is the timeline that it takes to get someone out of a property, right? When someone is squatting in a property, currently we treat them almost as if they're a tenant, right? And a tenant has all kinds of legal rights, as they should, to eviction proceedings and other things that can be quite extensive. Currently, the fine is only $1,000 for this type of forgery in law. Mine would up that fine to $5,000 and would also provide up to 10 years in jail for some of these folks, because we're talking about some people that are operating some very serious, in my opinion, criminal networks here.
This is a dangerous bill, and that's why we're in opposition to it.
Opponents argue it's wrong to turn the local sheriff into a judge on the spot to determine the validity of documents, and say current law is adequate.
It would effectively give them no notice, have no type of hearing in front of a judge or court, and effectively kick them out.
One mother told lawmakers she was the victim of someone who scammed her with a fake lease, and the current system kept her from being immediately evicted.
And I wouldn't have been able to get my belongings. That's terrifying for me and my family.
But Delegate Naraki says scammers are continually taking advantage of Maryland's weak laws.
It's easier to give people money and be extorted, essentially, than to kind of work through the legal process and take up to, sometimes it could take up to a year to get these people out.
You think some of these scammers know that? They're pretty sophisticated.
Absolutely know that.
Cash for keys.
Cash for keys.
They want your money.
They want your money.
Back in Baltimore County, David Brand found out firsthand why the scam is called Cash for Keys after police left, and he says the squatters threatened to damage the property.
Threatening you
Yes,
to hurt your investment.
yes. I had a lot to lose, and I realized that he has nothing to lose.
So he cut a deal, paying them $7,500 cash to turn over the keys and leave his home.
He agreed to it. He acknowledged it. I made him sign it on the back of the fake lease agreement.
It cost you $7,500.
$7,500 cash to get him out on the spot.
And did you have any problems with him after that?
Never saw him again.
He also learned the couple had a lengthy record of doing the same thing to other property owners over and over again.
What was in your head when you found out, eviction, 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 and a long list of them?
I really can't say on camera.
David now has cameras monitoring his home and lives with a nagging fear that it could all happen again.
If they break in and move in tomorrow, do I have any recourse? And the officer just said, no, not at all.
It's shocking.
Yeah, that was scary. But your property, you own the house, you've shown the police officer you own the house, they're in there illegally, just the police remove them. It should be that simple.
In Baltimore County, Mike Helgren, WJZ Investigates.
Well, the Trump